Keep it going for yourselves. Come on. You guys are fantastic. And for those at home, clap in your home. We got a fantastic show for you tonight. Our guest this evening is known as Misconduct on CBC Radio, as well as a member of Outside Joke, who's a fantastic improv group in town. Give it up for Jane Testar. Our musical guest tonight, Little Miss Higgins and the Winnipeg Five.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Boom. Now, let's get down to the brass tacks of what we are here for. And that is to talk about Halloween.
Oh. You don't sound so excited about it, Dan. I mean, what's wrong with Halloween? It's fun. You get to dress up.
John, I was dressed as a Ghostbuster all weekend, and now I have a rash on my neck.
Okay.
That's why.
I don't think those two things are related, Dan.
Well, loosely. We'll say loosely.
You got any ideas for what you're going to be this Halloween? You going to dress up?
Actually, interesting story. I am going to be the same costume I was last year, and that's not because of monetary troubles. Actually, it is part of money. You know what? I'm going to be wearing the same thing I wore last year, which is a Vietnam veteran.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Celebrating the war that America...
I was thinking I'd just wear
they didn't win.
I'm just going to wear a bow tie and hope people think I'm something.
Now, the reason that I'm wearing the same costume as last year is because last year I had this sweet costume that I spent a bunch of time getting ready, and then I got a massive cold sore on my face.
Right.
And I refused to go to any parties with the cold sore.
Mm-hmm.
So now I figure no one has seen that costume, and it is totally worth wearing again.
Well, at least...
Isn't that fucking wonderful?
Such an honest guy, this Dan.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm
Truth.
getting the time signal from two different people here. So
Glad we
breeze
explored
past
that.
this segment.
That was good.
Actually, what we are going to, and we were talking about costumes, we actually got to interview the band Gwar this week, which is pretty exciting because those guys are super aggressive. Yeah. And they wear super terrifying things on stage. And it turns out in real life. So here is the interview we had with Gwar.
Gwar, more specifically Odorous Orungus.
Yeah.
And I guess, we might as well cover some topics.
Topic
There's
name.
things happening.
Fucking cover me in topics.
There's covered, I will spray topics all over you, hot topics. There's a petition online to get you to play the Super Bowl.
That's bullshit.
No, it's actually happening.
Yeah, I know it's happening, but do you think even if we got 200 million, billion, zillion signatures, that it would make one bit of fucking difference?
Oh, none whatsoever.
Of course, but if you sign it, it is part of a collective middle finger to what has become the biggest musical venue in the world. It's true. The halftime show at the Super Bowl is the biggest musical venue in the world. More people see that than anything else. So just the fact that people are demanding Gwar, that is a cultural milestone of sorts. It won't make a fucking bit of difference. I don't really give a fuck about playing a fucking Super Bowl halftime show. What I would like to do is actually play the game. And I'll take on the whole fucking NFL. I will fucking take Eli Manning's head and ram it up his fucking ass. How dare you shame New York City with an 0-4 record? You fuck!
I know there's an immediate danger at every Gwar show of getting killed. I was wondering, what are the long-term symptoms? Like, people have experienced and survived many Gwar shows. What are the symptoms they might be going through?
Rebellion, hatred of power structures, a general feeling of resentment to the way that they are made to live, a feeling of hatred, sometimes culminating in violence. Generally, I'd like to think that even if you are not inseminated by Gwar during a show, that you will take away a feeling of general malcontentness. Is that a word?
It is now.
It is now. Yes, and basically what I'm saying is, once you've seen Gwar, nothing else will do. The world they've handed you is bullshit, and it's our duty to overthrow it. The system is fucked. It must be destroyed. We can't do it with machine guns. It's got to be a Gandhi-like revolution. They succeeded in kicking out the biggest motherfucking colonial power in the world. The British government was kicked out of India by Gandhi and his policy of non-resistance. So therefore I say to you, quit going to work, quit fucking around with these motherfuckers. They rely on you. If we can take the cops and we can take the soldiers and we can turn the guns the other way, we can take this world and we can take it over.
A wonderful sentiment from Gwar. All right. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that was Gwar. We'll be right back with the news.
Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club. From October 24th to October 26th, we've got Lachlan Patterson as seen on the FX series Legit and Tosh.0. Details online at www.rumorscomedyclub.com.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm excited. Do you know if you're excited? Yeah. Good, because it's time for the news. A man dressed as a female clown robbed the Crosstown Credit Union in Transcona recently. The teller on duty at the time was perplexed, stating their first clue that something was up was that the perp was wearing such fancy clothing. Transcona. Yeah. In Ottawa, Langevin Block, the building where Prime Minister Harper's office is located, was evacuated after a suspicious package arrived. The package was a basket of cookies for Stephen Harper, thanking him for his amazing work. And the police figured, nope, that ain't right. It must be a bomb. Wonderful graphic. BC unionized schools have recently lifted a ban on certain books written by Dr. Seuss. The ban was put in place after a father and son picnic at Stanley Park, where a public reading of Hop on Pop ended with deadly consequences. The amount of problem gamblers in BC has doubled in the past 5 years, although residents are betting they can get it to quadruple in the next year. An Ohio man who was legally declared deceased after going missing 8 years ago was told by a judge this week that despite being alive, he was still legally dead because he was past the 3-year maximum period in which a death ruling can be reversed. The judge cited a county law which clearly stated no backsies. The world's first walking, talking robot man made his debut Thursday in Washington at Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum. This is not a gimmick. This is real science, said museum director John Daly. The bionic man stands 6 feet tall and weighs 170 pounds. Project leaders say they're about 2 years away from a functional penis. An Augusta, Maine man had plans to tear his house down to build a Dunkin' Donuts. That is, until the city declined to provide zoning permits for a new franchise. He now has 5 toilets in his front yard with flowers growing out of them as a sign of protest. Representatives from the Augusta City Council released a statement saying, "We don't get it either." A couple who were caught engaging in oral sex on a flight from Medford, Oregon to Las Vegas have pleaded guilty. In fact, the man pleaded guilty 6 times before the judge finally said, "All right, we get it. We've heard the story and we're all very impressed." Security guards at a Victoria's Secret in New York searched the bags of 2 teens suspected of shoplifting, only to find a dead fetus in one of the bags. The The event is being called Victoria's Worst Kept Secret. Oh, man. The owner of the Washington Redskins, Dan Snyder, wants those that oppose the team name to try and respect what the team name means to the team and its fans. Yeah, said Ted Buggins, owner of the Cincinnati Chinamen. Try to think of what our team name means to fans and the team. You know, as opposed to what it actually means to Chinamen. Then follow that up with, that's what they like being called, right? Like, if we just keep the name and just start calling people from China people who are good at math, is that... A man attempting to jump a gorge on a unicycle had things go horribly wrong when he failed to clear the jump. To be clear, it went wrong for him. The rest of us, it went just as it should. Norway has installed new colorful poles along their highway to prevent collisions with deer and other wildlife after the previous whistles and warning signs provided or proved ineffective. Nicknamed disco poles, these devices emit rhythmic sounds and flash LED lights when reacting to cars' headlights. While this has helped reduce deer collisions by 90%, collisions with dancing kids wearing glow sticks has risen by 500%. A Nigerian woman faked her death in an attempt to extort a $1,200 ransom from her husband. While some are calling the story crazy, more and more reports have been coming in confirming that her husband was so cheap he wouldn't even buy brand name cheeses. And he'd take the little thing out of the deodorant and use that for a week instead of just throwing it out and getting new deodorant. So, how else is she supposed to get $1,200 from a guy like that? A man in London has had to call the fire department to help him get his penis out of a toaster. This man clearly doesn't know how a toaster works, or the difference between bread and a penis, said one firefighter. Toast will pop up when it's finished. Yeah. Even in a toaster. Michael Bay was assaulted while filming Transformers 4 in Hong Kong. The man was using an air conditioner unit as a weapon, but Bay managed to avoid getting hurt majorly in the attack. The man was taken into custody, and the air conditioner landed a role in the new film as Blowjob, an air conditioner that transforms into a robotic, sassy, gay stereotype. If we could get serious for a minute, well, it appears for now the latest government shutdown crisis has been averted in the U.S. Senate. It really is only a matter of time before one of these financial games of chicken ends poorly for the United States and potentially craters the world economy. With that in mind, we here at WTF would like to welcome to the program economist Chachi Josh Versace.
Yo! What up?
Yeah, nice.
Yo.
Red Rain.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, Dan.
Well, no problem. I gotta say, I did not know you were an economist.
Yeah. I will counter that I am not an orthodox economist, having received no accreditation from any viable institution, but I am very good at economy, and I believe in myself. I'm here with the freshest in preparedness for the new American economic collapse. Now, we will be entering into an economy that won't look like any we have ever seen in North America, Dan.
I thought you owned a strip club.
I do own a strip club. Solid platinum! So come on by. We always got girls shaking their thingies. We always got big old bags of fucking licorice until the world explodes. When that needs to happen, first of all, equip yourself with a leather jacket. When you run out of food supplies and licorice, you can dry it out, put salt on it, boil it, whatever, eat that leather. Second of all, guns. You're gonna need a lot of guns, all right? And you might want to switch to a crossbow for the advantage of being like silent when you're making a midnight run on an enemy compound.
An enemy compound?
Oh, yeah, expect the traditional nation states that we are accustomed to break down fairly quickly into roving gangs of murdermen. Then we will all be living in compounds. Well, the lucky ones, anyway.
All right. What about the unlucky ones?
They will die on their way to the compound. All right. People have been asking, Josh, what will the basis of the new economy be? No one knows. But materials such as gold are too heavy. Now, gold is not a highly mobile commodity, and you don't want to be stuck with gold in your pockets with sniper rifles firing at you while you make your water run to the overrun with cholera well. All right? You look like a douchebag, bro. Not a good look. Experts predict that it will likely, currency is going to be cigarettes, seeds, and blowjobs. So, invest appropriately now. It's possible that American cigarettes might be worth more than Canadian, since the trending economical parity of our two nations is like an average thing that's always going on. On the other hand, though, after what I have very coolly dubbed after the hellpocalypse, cigarettes may be considered what we porn-making economists call a fungible commodity. So it is possible one will be as good as another simply due to demand. You gotta live YOLO, because now, Brolo, life in the future might be a no-no. All right, one thing we do not know, or we do know, a little tidbizzle of info garnered from a life lived owning stripping club facilities, a blowjob will always be a blowjob. All right, now you're gonna want to try and befriend a wolf, or if like you're Asian or something, maybe a tiger, or like failing those very cool options, Liam Neeson. So take stock in what you have now. If you have a car, you're going to want to weld metal plates onto it. And don't you be afraid to strap a dwarf to the front who's going to function as like a car alarm and as to show like any potential enemies that you are not to be trifled with. And also be sure to pledge your allegiance to like whatever warlord rules your district and the oil supply. And finally, if you don't have, if you have any children, if you have any, I don't want to say it, but somebody's got to say it. Consider smothering them now to spare the horror of living in the new hellscape.
These are not the tips that I was expecting
Now
you
or
to come up
later,
with.
it's your choice, all right? But the kids are going to bum me out, man. Like, people ask me, Josh, what if I run out of licorice? Should I try to preserve the bodies of my smothered children to find a food source to make it through the harsh season ahead? Not for nothing. I ain't saying nothing, but that's the picture. I painted it. You finished the signature on the bottom.
I feel like no one has ever proposed that. And that this is all just insane.
All right, okay. Learn how to set traps and snares so you don't have to eat the kids, okay? That's how I caught this. Look at this. This is dinner.
That looks a lot like a sandwich puppet.
Dan, I already have a plan to kill you if things go wrong in the future. You just need to know that. Trust me, everybody. Traps and snares, own a porno club beforehand or whatever, and make mad money, bags of licorice, bing, bang, boom, hamburger time, apocalypse.
Chachi Josh Versace, everybody. Yeah. We'll be right back with Jane Testar.
For a taste of royalty, head to 120 King Street. Just look at that wood. Week Thus Far tapes at the King's Head Pub every Monday live at 8 p.m.
Welcome back to the Week Thus Far, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us. It's time to get down to guest time, John. Okay. What do you think? Yeah. What time is it, John?
What does that matter?
Time for the guest.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at. Cool. That's what I'm driving at. Our guest this evening is a very funny woman. She can be heard on CBC Radio all the time under the name Misconduct, and she'll tell us more about that. She's also a fantastic improviser, part of the group Outside Joke. Give it up for Jane Testar. Miss Jane Testar,
Yes.
how is life?
It's good. I just got an iPhone.
What?
I never had one. It's my first iPhone.
Oh, really? You're
Yeah.
not kidding?
No.
Oh, good.
I've been, you mentioned Outside Joke, my troupe. They've been making fun of me for about 3 years solid for not having one. And doing their Snapchats and their Vines and stuff. Like, we're having so much fun. Too bad Jane can't see it.
What kind of phone did you have before?
I had the worst BlackBerry ever. It was, no one has it because it's the worst. It was a BlackBerry like flip phone. So it looked like a phone from 1998, and it was a BlackBerry, so it was horrible. And it barely got internet. I am planning on videotaping myself throwing it against a wall. So look for that on YouTube soon.
Well, I understand the company's not doing so well. Maybe that's part of it.
Yeah.
Now, you have been a member of Outside Joke, which is a improv group.
Yep.
For how long now?
Oh, we're in our 11th year.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. I don't look old enough to have done anything for 11 years besides breathing, but.
When you were like 8?
Well, they formed, I guess, right out of high school. I wasn't part of the troupe for the first 2-3 years, and then I joined on. So.
Outsider.
Yeah. Of Outside Joke, ironically.
It is a little ironic.
Is that ironic? I don't
More
know.
than the Alanis Morissette song examples.
Yeah.
Those are, I think we were talking about those today.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, how old was she when that album came out? 22? Give her a break.
That's true. She was very young.
Yeah.
She was making some decisions back then
Yeah.
about irony that I think are kind of ironic.
Let's hear about misconduct in
God
CBC
damn it,
Radio.
Yeah.
Talking about Alanis Morissette.
Canadian icon, Alanis Morissette. I did Misconduct for 3 years, which was a radio column, about a 4-minute piece that played every week about issues with etiquette and manners. But I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh, no.
I've got a new topic.
What's that?
It's called The Fixer. Doesn't that sound imposing and scary? It's basically just fixing the world's problems. You know how everyone has a theory on some complex political issue, and they're just like, well, why don't they just put all the people in Haiti on a boat, take them off, fix the island, and then bring them back? You know, just like really overly simplified kind of. Let's just give the Palestinians like $50 and tell them to go. Like they're just like oversimplified.
Wow.
So I'm going to take a topic, not necessarily political. It could be something really simple, and I'm just going to fix it.
Good. Are your solutions going to be similar to the boat in Haiti, or are they going to be...
Well, I suggested, on my last one, I suggested that we fix the problems with the Senate by making it into a reality TV show.
That's not bad. I think that's pretty good.
Who wants to be a Canadian senator? And then they're all, you know, there's constant video surveillance, so they're not going to get up to any shenanigans.
Yeah.
There's going to be some really fun, like, video diaries back and forth, being like, what was Art Eggleton wearing today? Yeah, oh, gross. No, but, yeah. I thought
Now,
that'd be good.
Misconduct was all about, like, just sort of general, you said etiquette and stuff like that. I remember I heard one recently that was about how a performer should tell a rude audience member that they're being rude without ruining their own performance.
Not just performance, just basically in any kind of audience situation, even in a movie theater, when someone's being loud or obnoxious or noisy, how to get them to quiet down without being a jerk about it, kind of thing.
What kind of reactions did you get?
Most people, it's a certain type of anger when someone's disrupting your movie or your play or something. Like you just get fire in your brains and you can't hear. It's just like all the blood's rushing up to your ears, kind of thing. And people don't take that minute to calm down, so they just end up. And because we're Canadian, we do it really passive aggressive. So you know, you do the long distance shush kind of thing.
Right.
So you're at one corner of the audience, and you think like, shh, and thinking that'll do it, or people just glare at each other, kind of thing. But
One time I yelled at a group of kids, shut the hell up, and then they stood up and told me to shut the hell up, and I have never been so scared.
Well, that's the problem. We're trying to be peacekeepers here. You got to not incite more violence.
Well, and you know, like, it's a good thing I wasn't on a date, because that would have been a bad scene.
No,
I was with Chad, who writes on this show.
On a
Chad didn't
date?
do anything either.
Yeah.
You guys are dating now? Or?
We've thought about it. Anyways,
Yeah.
what is the worst reaction you have ever got for one of your CBC experiments?
What do you mean by reaction?
Like when you ask someone one of the questions, what is probably the worst answer you have ever received? One that really sticks out.
Well, really, the problem I got was people were terrified of me. People did not want to talk to me. And I'm a pretty friendly, kind of open person. I'd be really polite about it and say, oh, excuse me, and tell them who I am. So it's not just, I'm a weirdo with a microphone kind of
Tell
thing.
me your
Like,
secrets.
give me your voice. Ugh. Like Ursula from The Little Mermaid. 90s reference.
What up?
Generation Y. No, people would say they would really slink off from wanting it. And I'm asking, like, hey, what do you hate when people are, like, phone things? Or what pisses you off about people's phones and how they use their phones? People are like, oh, you don't want my opinion. You don't want mine. And it's just like, the humility thing, just say something. Whatever comes out of your mouth is
I
correct.
only have stupid ideas.
Yeah, people just really hate themselves. That's what I've discovered.
Well, that's
People hate
unfortunate.
themselves.
And I hope you at home love yourself.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're out of time, Jane. So thank you very much for coming out this evening.
Thank you.
It was wonderful to talk with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with Little Miss Higgins and the Winnipeg Five.
Are you tired of the same old coffee news month after month? Well, grab a copy of Week Thus Far Monthly. Yes, Week Thus Far Monthly from the creators of the Week Thus Far television show. If you're interested in having it in your business, contact Dan Ewan at dan@weekthusfar.com. That's dan@weekthusfar.com.
Yes. Let the hate flow through you.
It's that time of the evening where we are wrapping up the show. So thank you, Jane Testar, for being a guest this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, studio audience, for coming out and watching the show. It was fantastic. Fantastic. I would just like to thank our sponsors, Rumors Comedy Club and the King's Head Pub. Also at the King's Head Pub this weekend, you can see The Urges, October 25th, that's Friday night, and also 10 at 2 on Saturday. They are some fantastic local bands who will be here playing. Come here, the drinks are cheap, the staff are awesome, and the bands make sweet love to your face. Our musical guest this evening is a fantastic group of people. They have an album out right now called the Bison Ranch Recording Sessions. And you can see them November 15th at the West End Cultural Center. Big round of applause for Little Miss Higgins and the Winnipeg Five.
Let's go to Dead Cow Hill.